Resume debate. The honourable member for Richmond Hill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is my honor and pleasure to contribute to the debate on this historic budget. First, let us acknowledge the history that has been made. As my colleague, the Minister of Finance, is the first female to deliver a budget in our chambers, showing young women and girls across this country that when a woman leads, you change politics. Madam Speaker, this is a powerful moment, but let me assure you that this is not only a symbolic one. It also reinforces our commitment to support women and youth, along with our commitment to preserving our environment across our nation. Madam Speaker, we know that many families with young children have been struggling, trying to find affordable childcare during the pandemic. Trying to find affordable childcare while they're at work. Women are the backbone of this country, and this pandemic alone has shown us how resilient they actually are. Our government will support women in my riding and across this country with up to $30 billion over 5 years, reaching an all-time high of $8.3 billion every year permanently to build a high-quality, affordable, inclusive, and accessible early learning and child care system across Canada. This will directly improve the lives of over 10,000 families in my riding of Richmond Hill. This investment is a step toward removing barriers that women and young families face. It's a plan to drive economic growth, a plan to increase women participation in the workforce, and a plan to offer each child in Canada the best start in life. Madam Speaker, make no mistake, this government is committed to supporting families with young children, women, as well as reconciliation with our First Nation, Métis, and Indigenous people. Our government will invest more than $6 billion for infrastructure in Indigenous communities and $2.2 billion to help end the national tragedy of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, on the note of moving forward, this pandemic has had an impact on our youth and students from coast to coast to coast. Our government is supporting the future generation of our nation. We have an enormous pool of diverse and talented students, like an enormous pool on those in Richmond Hill, who will become doctors, technicians, teachers, and even the futures member of this legislature. Our budget will help those students across our country. Madam Speaker, during this time, we've heard from many students who are burdened by the student debt and are struggling to find work. We are committed to ensuring that this pandemic does not derail their future. This budget will support our students with over $5.7 billion over the next 5 years to help young Canadians pursue and complete their education, creating nearly 215,000 new job, skill development, and work opportunities. During the pandemic, our government made 6-month grace period after leaving studies interest-free. We'll further waive interest on student loans for 1 year and enhance the repayment system so now no students earning less than $40,000 per year will need to make payments on their federal student loans. In addition, Madam Speaker, our government believes that our youth are the leaders of not only tomorrow, but today. That is why in this budget, we will double the Canada student grants, providing additional support for 580,000 students who are relying on student loans. This will effectively cover 90% of the average undergraduate tuition in Canada for the low-income students. Madam Speaker, it's crucial that we are equipping our youth with tools and resources to succeed and be successful. And that is exactly what our government aims to do. Similarly, Madam Speaker, as an advocate for environment myself, I'm proud because this government recognizes that climate change is indeed real. We must protect our planet as we owe that to our children. I've spoken in this House before about how important it is to me to leave behind a planet that is safe for my children. This budget recognizes that investing in Green Recovery Initiative is the right thing to do. This is why we are proposing historic investment of $5 billion over 7 years in Net Zero Accelerator. With this added support on top of the $3 billion we committed in December, the Net Zero Accelerator will have even more companies invest to reduce their greenhouse gas emission while growing their businesses. Madam Speaker, our government will accelerate Canada's net zero transformation through innovation, propel clean technology projects, grow zero-emission technology manufacturing, and accelerate investment in clean energy technology. Madam Speaker, this is the change that Canadians, like the member of my Environmental Community Council, have been pushing for. These green investment will allow companies like Tavos Technology, who produces eco-friendly product, and Greenbrink Inc., an organization committing to promoting conservation and sustainability, all of whom I'm proud to have in my riding to thrive. Madam Speaker, additionally, our budget will provide up to $8 billion of support for projects that will help reduce domestic greenhouse gas emission across Canadian economy. This is a government who will act on climate change, who will protect the future of our youth, and multiple precious ecosystems that span across this country, from West Coast British Columbia to northern coast of Nunavut and all the way to East Coast Nova Scotia. This budget is an investment for a healthier society and keeping our promise to our youth, acting on the urgency of protecting our planet. The time to act on health and future of the planet is now, Madam Speaker. Lastly, this budget will provide much-needed economic support to Canadians. The measures I mentioned include increasing our support to families with young children, reducing student debts, and investing in cleaner future. But most importantly, Madam Speaker, this budget is an investment in mental health resources that are needed as we move past this pandemic. Madam Speaker, this budget includes several notable measures that addresses the socioeconomic factors of mental health. Budget 2021 proposes to provide $45 million over 2 years, starting in 2021-22, to Health Canada, the Public Health Agency of Canada, National Mental Health Service Standards, in collaboration with provinces and territories, health organizations, and key stakeholders. This pandemic has taken a toll on Canadians, students, seniors, and those working on the front lines. We thank them all. Madam Speaker, the mental health of Canadians is just as important as their physical health. Earlier this year, this government announced Wellness Together Canada and funding for Kids Help Phone, which we plan to extend. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated existing mental health challenges for Canadians and increased the number of Canadians in crisis. Making mental health services easier to access will have substantial benefit for Canadians and help save lives. Madam Speaker, the mental health of Canadians matters. In closing, Madam Speaker, this budget outlines our promise and commitment to a more inclusive Canada, finishing the fight against COVID-19 and healing the wounds left by COVID-19 recession. It's about creating more jobs and prosperity for Canadians in the days and decades to come. If COVID-19 has taught us anything, it's that we are all in this together. Canada succeeds when all Canadians can participate in economic growth and make ends meet. Canadians deserve a government that will put their needs and best interests first, a government that supports our women, reconcile with Indigenous people, support the future of youth, act on urgency of climate change, and lastly, support the mental health of Canadians. Madam Speaker, our government does exactly that in this budget. This is the budget for Canada and for all Canadians. Madam Speaker, better days are ahead. Thank you.
Questions and comments?